Before we get started, no, I won't be predicting Terry's moveset since I've done it a few days ago. No, I won't be predicting the fifth fighter with the Fighters Pass because who knows who could have joined and who knows who would it be. And you could just possibly get announced at the Game Awards of 2019. And no, I won't be predicting. And no, I won't be predicting the other characters that will come out through 2020 to 2021. And that's about it. So as of right now, I've been seeing some comments in some of my videos and other YouTubers' videos, and people were hoping characters such as Crash, Spyro, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, Lara Croft, but I've been seeing other comments that are arguing, and that is something to do with characters that are actually sword fighters. Yep, no joke. People were kind of not hoping for sword fighters, and if you guys don't like sword fighters, I respect your opinion. But for those who really taking this too far on a sword fighter, and they're just tired of it, well, to be honest, guys, that's not actually the case of a sword fighter, because there's some characters who are sword fighters who actually who means more than just a sword fighter, and I'm here to explain it all throughout every character in Smash Ultimate. So let's start out with Link first. Link actually he may be just a sword fighter, but he actually but you can actually use his arrows, and you can shoot two of them in case one is on the ground, and you pick it up, and then you shoot two of them at a time. The next thing that he actually uses is his boomerang, since you can actually use that, since the boomerang is basically a side special, and that's just what's unique about him. The other thing is that he actually has bombs that you can use a remote to make them explode, and that is really cool about Link. And most of his moves are just adapted from the original Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game, and that's just cool to me. The next character I actually want to talk about is actually Mart. And also, before I talk about it, this all started because of a Fire Emblem situation, because there were so many characters that are like Fire Emblem back in Smash 4 and for the 3DS and Wii U, and these were the Smash 4, Wii U, and 3DS days. And right now, people were arguing about Girl Mart, Red Haired Mart, and now in Ultimate we got Girl Mart's father. But here's the thing: Mart was actually the first. Well, Mart and Roy were the first two characters from a new franchise, from a new Japanese franchise, which is Fire Emblem, obviously. Mart has more of a unique moveset, actually, since we gotta have Echo Fighters, people won't argue that much about Lucina and Chrom, because, after all, Lucina is actually a clone of Mart now, since they both have a similar moveset. Roy is actually his own character, and not just a clone of Mart or anyone else, because he has more of a fiery feeling of him, and besides, who doesn't like Fire Emblem characters? I mean, I never played Fire Emblem. And Chrom is a clone of Roy, but then his up B is basically Ike's for some reason, and then most of his moves are just from basically all the Fire Emblem characters. But like I said, people won't argue that much about Chrom or Lucina being in the game, because after all, they are Echo Fighters to begin with, since they're now Echo Fighters now. And I know you might be thinking, you are going to think that Ganondorf is actually a sword fighter as well. Well, actually, technically, no. And why is that? Well, it's simple. He's basically, his stance, his idle animations basically gives me more of a brawler type. And yes, I know they updated his moves to be with a sword now, but the only thing he uses his sword was his up, down, and side smashes. And that's kind of about it. And most of his moves still are just Captain Falcon's. And I know people like the sword that Ganondorf has, but to me personally, it's just that Ganondorf still is. I mean, I wouldn't count Ganondorf as a sword fighter since most of his moves are just Captain Falcon's. Yeah, we're gonna get two characters out of the way, which is Toon Link and Young Link. They both play exactly the same, but they're actually their own character, as what the website and Sakurai states. Makes sense. I mean, yes, they both. Well, like I said, Link has a more unique moveset. Toon Link actually does have, but it's the same, except he does have some elements from. The, like, I think the Wind Waker. Young Link is basically the same as Toon Link, but he actually has fire arrows this time instead of Link's ancient bow and arrow and Toon Link's normal arrow. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, Ike is one of them. Ike is basically more different than just Mart, Roy, Lucina, and Crom, because Ike's upbeat and most of his moves are basically different, since his moves are just kind of more of a heavy sword fighter type, and I actually like the feeling of that. And also his final smash is different than just critical hit, because he now actually has his Great Ether. Crom is very different than Roy, since Crom actually has critical hit, but he has more of a different move than just doing like slashing the sword. Oh yeah, I forgot Meta Knight was a character, and Meta Knight is very different since, well, first of all, it's from a different franchise than just Fire Emblem, and he basically has more of a dark, shadowy feeling, since he basically disappears like a knight. And you know, Meta Knight is actually his own character after all. Me Swordfighter, alright, we're getting this out of the way. Me Swordfighters, it's pretty, first of all, you can create your own monstrosity or all you want. And secondly, you can just create his own unique moveset whenever you like it. And that's just part of the Me Swordfighter's gimmick. We got Robin from Fire Emblem, and he has more of a different moveset, actually, than just basically Mart and the other characters. And no one has actually argued about Robin, though, since he actually uses his magic, like using his magic book to actually hurt opponents, and that's more unique than just sword slashes and all that. Shulk is very different than just a sword fighter, since he actually uses his Monado arts, like jump, speed, buster, smash, and I can't remember the fifth one, or I think. But yeah, after all, Shulk really is more of unique than just any sword fighter. Not only that, his down B, you can actually use his future, like you can use his vision to predict what actually happens. It's just like what he does in the original Xenoblade Chronicles game, where he actually predicts the future and prevents it before it happens. And that's what's cool about Shulk, since he has more of a different moveset than just Fire Emblem characters. And no one has argued about Shulk being in Smash as well. The next character is Cloud Strife, one of my favorite characters of Smash Bros. And one of the Final Fantasy series, not after all. His moves, no one's argued about Cloud at all. Because, well, first of all, he's the most voted Final Fantasy character out of all, such as like Noctis, Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, and Lightning, especially Sephiroth, since Cloud is the most highly requested Final Fantasy character of all. And secondly, he actually uses his limit breaks. He actually uses some of his limit breaks, like Cross Slash, Chim Hazard, and also his Omni Slash, the final move you can use to hit Sephiroth. And that's just cool about Cloud, since he just has more of a unique moveset, and he's really well demanded back in Smash for Wii U and 3DS. Then we got Corrin. Corrin is basically not just any Fire Emblem character. And like I said about Ike and Robin, Corrin actually has more of a unique moveset, since he uses Dragon Roar. And he also has the Omega Sword, the Omega Roar as his weapon, and he can use a dragon element type. And that's just really cool about Corrin. Since, I mean, at first I didn't like Corrin because of being a Fire Emblem character, but back in Smash Wii and 3DS, they wanted to promote Corrin because it was actually, because we had to know Corrin first before we actually get to play Fire Emblem Fates. And now we got the most recent one, and that was Hero. People argued about Hero due to being an anime sword fighter. But like I said about Cloud, he actually has more of a unique moveset, since he uses his magic and has an RPG element. Man, I don't think that has happened. And also, he actually has an MP gauge you can see on top of his character select screen, and that's just cool actually. Since Hero, sorry about that, Hero actually has more of an RPG type than just anime sword fighters. You can use fire, you can use a fire element, lightning, and then you can use other things, especially his overpowered move, which is Magic Burst, and the one that can literally just like destroy you instantly, Kamikaze. And yeah, that's about it. And what am I trying to say about this? Well, actually, what I'm trying to conclude is that anime sword fighters are fine as long as they are unique. And I come up with at least 4 characters that are actually as sword fighters. One of them being Sword, for example. Sword's my most requested character. People argued that no, we're not gonna get another sword fighter, and no, we're not gonna get another Square Enix character. And people argue that Sword belongs to Disney. But like, let's be honest, guys, we're not giving up hope on Sora. If we don't mind, and to me personally, I don't mind another Square Enix character at all. Alright, this is gonna be really weird, but Steve. Now, yes, Steve actually never has... You're supposed to get diamonds first before you can actually get a sword, a diamond sword, like in Minecraft. But Steve can actually have a sword as his default weapon as well, since... I mean, hey, Link has his sword as his default weapon all the time. But Steve, he can use his sword as any kind, like... I mean, yes, Steve is, I will count him as a sword fighter because, after all, he does wield a sword in his artwork, or pickaxe, or either way. The next character is, yes, I did mention that in the last prediction, the more characters, I only will include characters from different franchise, but to me, personally, I would actually like to see Sephiroth in here, because battle between Cloud and Sephiroth, that really kind of makes me feel... really nice. That actually makes me feel a bit cool and pretty actually nostalgic seeing Cloud and Sephiroth fighting in Smash Brothers and the battle, and it just gives me nostalgic of beating. It kind of reminds me of Cloud versus Sephiroth and the final fight. And after all, actually, don't mind that picture of Waluigi right there. Push Dustin actually made a poll on each region that actually shows the top 10 requested characters, and 9 right there is frickin' Sephiroth. And to be honest, I really would like to see Cloud and Sephiroth fighting each other, especially Cloud and Sora. Wouldn't that just be epic? The next character is Dante, and I get he has a gun, but he also equips swords, just like what you see in some of his art. And right now, Dante is also a requested character. And with 2 Devil May Cry's game coming to the Switch, with the sequel coming out, I think, this month, this could really have some hope for Dante as well. And the final one is also one of my requested characters, Ryu Hayabusa. I want to see a cool ninja character. I get Greninja and Sheik is in the game, but seeing Ryu Hayabusa would just makes me feel happy. Seeing with ninja stars, have this dragon sword, everything. And that's about it, guys. And that's about it, guys. That's my whole thing. This is the whole problem between sword fighters, because there are so many people arguing that we have too many sword fighters, but my whole point is that as long as they have an anime sword fighters, they could add it as long as they are unique. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you understand about what's going on, about the whole situation with sword fighters, with the whole argument between Sora and Dante and Ryu Hayabusa. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember this though, once a legend, always a legend. Please put Sora or Ryu or Crash, anyone.